Hello, I'm going to Bali and East Java all alone with almost no money, no film crew, no makeup or friends except for the ones I met. I'll be visiting the amazing temples and to purify myself, climbing the famous collagen crater, hanging out at the beach and trying out surfing. Not to mention lots of off-beaten path attractions, trying out amazing street food and fine-tuning my bargaining skills. All done safely, inexpensively and easily. Anything I can do, you can do. DIY destinations Bali and East Java and you are invited. We are so fortunate to live in a small world with so many cultures, so much beauty, and so much diversity. The world waits for no one, and it's up to each of us to discover its magnificent destinations. I want to make travel accessible to all of us by showing how it can be done safely and inexpensively. Bali and East Java is two of the most beautiful regions in Indonesia. Despite only being separated by a short ferry, Bali is home to a minority Hindu population with its own language, unique cultures, and filled with unspoiled nature. In contrast, East Java is the second most populous province, being home to a population of 39 million and the heart of industrial center of Indonesia. I'm here to take in both sides and discover the spirit that unites Indonesians. Its nature, its hospitality, its culture, and amazing food. We'll start our journey from Bali, an island province of Indonesia. It's home to 4 million Balinese. Today is one of the world's most popular tourist attractions for its renowned beaches, biodiversity, nature, Hindu temples, and highly developed arts. Good news, visitors from most countries enjoy visa on arrival with free 30 days exemption. There are buses available from major cities in Java with a ferry connection running 24 hours a day. From Bali's Denpasar International Airport, fixed fare taxis and Uber are both available. So if you are going to take these two options, partner up with some fellow backpackers and share the fare. However, the most inexpensive option is a public bus near the roundabout. But lucky me, my couch surfing buddy and co-host is coming to pick me up on a motorcycle, and please ignore the safety laws. I did it at my own risk. By the way, thanks brand.
I grew up in Tempeh.
Next morning, we begin our day from the home base here in Kuta, but I'm not going anywhere until I get my local Indonesian breakfast. Gado Gado, known as lotak, is an Indonesian salad consists of slightly boiled steamed vegetables, hard-boiled eggs, fried tofu, and tempeh, served with a peanut sauce dressing.
And I can't wait to give that a shot.
The best way to get around Bali is a scooter, but make sure you have an international driver's permit along with your actual driver's license issued from your home country. Or else, you can get a temporary Balinese tourist driver's license available from the police station in Denpasar. We began our journey by exploring South Bali. Unexpectedly, we came across our first off-beaten path attraction.
We came across this unusual scene, a Boeing 737 abandoned by its owners here in the middle of the city. It's a kind of off the beaten path things that's not on the tourist map. And it's pretty magnificent, by the way.
Between October to April is the wet season for Bali, and therefore you may get a complimentary 100% organic shower anytime, especially in the mornings. The upside, the popular attractions will not be crowded with tourists. Our first destination is Uluwatu Temple, built in the 11th century and dedicated to the supreme god of Indonesian Hinduism. It is regarded as the 6th holiest place of worship in Bali. There's no better way to show off this beautiful temple than my local co-host Bram, an Indonesian.
Today we're in Pura Luhur Uluwatu. It's a Balinese temple. This temple holds a significance in Balinese people, and it's very important tourist destination in Bali because of the magnificent view, as you can see. Uluwatu in local language means edge of the cliff, and as the name implies, the temple is built at the edge of the cliff projecting to the sea.
And inhabited by monkeys, who are notorious for snatching visitors' belongings. So watch out. Just few minutes away, we arrive at one of the most beautiful beaches in Bali, the Blue Point Beach. The layout of this beach is hidden at the base of the cliff. The main part of the beach has a width of approximately 15 meters and is also the entrance to the sea. The surfer consider this beach paradise as they get the best waves. Additionally, the beach itself is surrounded by rocks that always act as an umbrella, shielding the excessive hot sun during the midday. Just few minutes away is another surfer's favorite beach, the Padang Padang Beach. The admission is free and the beach is very famous in the surfing community due to the size and the quality of the wave. Another nearby beach is also off-beaten-path attraction and rarely visited by tourists. Pandawa Beach is not spoiled by tourists and considered Bali's hidden and secret beach that's very difficult to access due to located in a deep valley and surrounded by white stone cliff.
I'm in one of the best beaches in South Kuta, and it's called Pandawa. And what's so interesting about this beach is the fact that you have to come down along that road, but you get to see many of the deities carved right into the mountain.
On the side of the cliff are the statue portraying the 5 brothers in the story Mahabharata, the legend of these 5 great warriors and the symbol of goodness. On our way to the peninsula island, we bump into something familiar. Yes, another abandoned plane.
Another abandoned plane in the middle of nowhere. It's just really strange but fascinating. This is not something that you find on the tourist map. You can enjoy the vantage point free of charge from here, or you can go around it and pay 5,000 rupiah, or 50 cents to enjoy the view from up there.
The last place we visit in the South Bali is Nusa Dua, meaning 2 islands. Consisting on the north side is Nusa Dharma Island and the south side Peninsula Island. This is an enclave of a large 5-star resort, but the park is open to the public free of charge. The park also have a large statue of Krishna and Arjun, the 2 great mythical figures found inside the great Indian epic Mahabharata. One of the interesting places within the park is water below.
As you can see, these are the natural rock formation caused by tidal wave. During the season when the waves are big, the water will literally splash to your face. That's why this place is called water bowl. The thing you see here is called Tempeh. It's a traditional Indonesian food made from fermented soybean. Sitting next to it is tofu, which is normal fried tofu.
Before heading to our magnificent sunset, let's dive into my weakness, inexpensive local food.
Lots of veggies. I definitely need to have some protein, so I picked an egg.
And yes, we just kept eating, including the Indonesian style meatballs.
This food is called Bakso. It's Indonesian meatballs. It consists of this thing, as you can see, the meatballs, some tofu, and you can see some white noodles there. And this is the drink that I have. It's called es jeruk. This is a lemon drink. Dragon.
Bali has some of the most breathtaking sunsets, and we recommend you end your day at Tanah Lot Temple. The name means land sea in Balinese language, and the temple sits on a large offshore rock which have been shaped continuously over the years by the ocean tides.
So this is the temple of Tanah Lot. I guess today we're very lucky because we're here. Currently the tide is low, and we're able to get into the main temple without getting wet. This is the best, truly the best time to visit this place, Tanah Lot, and it's also nice to see sunset here.
I'm going to go in, have my face washed on the holy water, and be blessed, I guess. I just got blessed. All right, with rice on my head, I think.
It's one of the most popular tourist and cultural icons for photography in Bali. The temple has been part of Balinese mythology for centuries. However, it is significantly influenced by Hinduism. At the base of the rocky island, the venomous sea snakes are believed to guard the temple from evil spirits and intruders. We went to sleep after a long, exhausting day. Next day, our usual routine. Eat and eat some more. This time, authentic Indonesian congee.
We're eating what usually called bubur ayam. It's like Indonesian version of congee. Yeah. So as you can see, we have rice porridge.
And what are those right there?
These are quail eggs.
Quail eggs?
Yes.
Really?
Today, we'll be riding our scooter to North Bali around the city of Ubud. It's a cultural center of the island, and despite being only 40 kilometers away, it's quite a contrast to Kuta. This is a village of only 30,000 surrounded with small farms, rice paddies, and dance floors. This is what we recommend if you prefer peace and quiet. Ubud is pretty compact. Most attractions is easily accessible on foot, and here's one of them that won't cost you a single penny.
So on the way to our next temple, we drove by the city center and we unintentionally bumped into the Ubud Palace.
The palace is the official residence of loyal family of Ubud, as it's considered a focal landmark located on the main road. The compound was built during the lordship of late Ta Putu Kendall, and mostly after the 1917 earthquake. The local royal family still lives here, and is well kept by his successor heirs. To the opposite side of the palace on the main road is a Ubud art market, known for its high-quality traditional and handmade clothing, figurines, and houseware, and also featured in the movie Eat, Pray, Love. If you're going to buy something, you need to bargain.
50,000 is too steep. I'm not buying.
40,000.
40,000. 30,000.
No. More. Little bit more.
31,000.
No. No.
31,000.
Okay. 35. You happy, me happy.
Can we do
By the
35?
way,
Is that enough
this
budget?
is a tourist trap, and you need to bargain harder than me.
After lunch.
By luck, our filming was delayed to witness the rare event. The cremation ceremony of village's first ordained Hindu high priest passed away at age of 96 that had carried out his priest duties for more than 50 years.
So actually, I was actually puzzled when the street was jammed up while we are heading to our monkey forest. We found out this is actually a cremation ceremony for high priests here in Bali.
The high status is reflected by the bowl-shaped wooden sarcophagus and lotus-shaped tower in a traditional Balinese ceremony called Nagaben. It's Balinese word for cremation of the dead, in which the soul is released entirely from the body to ascend to heaven and to be reincarnated. This is considered the last and the most important ceremony of every Balinese life. There are 3 stages: the funeral and the cremation.
They just finished a food offering, putting all the food offerings inside the casket, and they are preparing to burn the body along with the food of the offering. Now, as you can see around, no one's actually crying because Balinese believes in reincarnation. So this is just a passage to another life.
The final stage is purification, which can
I
happen
believe they
12
can
days
burn
after the cremation, where the ashes was placed in a white and yellow cloth transported on a beautiful construction to the sea. The ashes are placed in the water with the purpose of soul being released to a higher level. From there, the soul can follow the final stage of reincarnation. We didn't stay for the entire ceremony, but by luck, few minutes walking distance from the cremation site is a sacred monkey forest sanctuary. It lies within a village called Petango, which owns it. The sanctuary serves as an important spiritual, economical, educational, and conservation center.
Monkey business. So this is the monkey forest, and there's at least 3 temples inside here. And don't be scared if you see them around, but please, don't touch it. They can be aggressive, especially when mom's involved and there's little litters lying around.
It's also not worth the risk being bitten, as it requires anti-rabies shot. And few other rules to be safe.
One of my favorite is, don't look the monkey in the eyes. And also, do not panic if a monkey jumps on you. Just drop your food and walk away slowly.
Uba Monkey Force described his mission as conservation of the area within its boundaries, according to Hindu principle of Tritattakara, or 3 ways to reach spiritual and physical well-being. In addition, the philosophical goal of creating peace and harmony between the nature and the people. The last destination of the day is 16 kilometers away in the village of Tempeh, Surrey, also site of Hindu holy water temple Tirta Empul, meaning holy spring in Balinese. It was founded around a large water spring in 962 AD. It is dedicated to Vyesu, another Hindu god name for the spring consciousness Narayana.
This is Tirta Empul, the Balinese water temple. This temple has been around for at least 1,000 years. As you can see, there's a bathing area. Spring water. Local Balinese use this temple in purification ritual.
But before you jump in, make sure to follow the local customs.
Well, it's not like every single day I get to come to this temple. I need to experience the holy bath. And to get in, you need one of these. That's 10,000 rupees, or about $1 or so. So with that being said, I'm going in to change, and hopefully I look good with this on this as well. See you soon. I think it's my turn. Oh my goodness. It's really cold. It's cold, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold. It's cold. I don't know how
The Balinese Hindu believe that sacred cool spring offers wellness and have magical curative properties, that worshippers will first make an offering to the main temple and then proceed to 15 fountains and wash over them 4 to 13 times. And yes, the holy water is freezing, and also I realized I have to restart from the beginning.
I found out that I actually cheated on my first run because I went to the fountain number 3. To do it properly, I have to go from fountain 1, 2, and all the way to the end. So, cut 2 please.
According to a legend contained in an inscription on the Seknan temple, the spring rising from earth is God's creation, arranged to be a purification pond. However, don't wash at the second last 2 fountains for a special reason.
Could you tell us why we shouldn't be using those?
Because it's already for
Okay, I don't think I'm there yet, so I'll avoid them. Thank you very much. I told you so. It's fish inside there.
Before you get too excited on meeting some new fishy friends, a reminder to always tighten yourself to avoid any embarrassing X-rated accidents.
And that concludes my visit to the water temple. And by the way, that was not part of the script.
Along the way back to Kuta, regardless which route you take, you'll come across lots and lots of varieties of street food. Tonight, we'll be trying something traditional Balinese barbecue.
Okay, we're about to eat sate ayam with lontong. Sate ayam is basically chicken barbecue with some peanut sauce, and this lontong is made of rice, basically.
If you want to catch a most breathtaking sunrise, you need to wake up early and leave around 3 a.m. if you're staying in Kuta. We'll be scooting to Bedugo Highlands of Bali. Don't worry, there's many morning markets along the way for coffee and breakfast. We'll settle at the market here at Penalogan Village.
Those of you who's complained about having to wake up early in the Western world, having to go to work, guess what? Some of the markets here in Bali open as early as 3 in the morning, which is great because honestly, we need to catch a sunrise at one of the temples, and I think it's time to fuel up with some of those local food.
Actually, I want to try something more local than a simple cup of coffee.
Now, I was very curious for breakfast at those cup noodles, and I actually decided to try them out. It's actually pretty good. That's actually really good. And another thing I had was this right here. It's called Energic. It's actually makes of milk and cereals. Oh, yes.
Along the slope up, we briefly stop and take in the breathtaking view of Mount Agon and Patar. Sometimes it's okay to pause and just enjoy the moment. The Pura Ulun Danu or floating temple is one of the most beautiful temples in Bali and situated on Lake Pertan. It's off beaten path despite being a favorite among local tourists, but relatively still unknown to foreigners. Also unknown is if you arrive early, there's no one to collect your tickets, so your admission is free. It can be tracked back to the rise of Midway Kingdom. The name is taken from the lake where the temple is built at the Pertan Lake. The name of the Pertan Lake is inseparable from Pertan Mount as deity and goddess of fertility and prosperity. The temple is dedicated to the goddess of the lake on the edge of a huge crater. Its dominant shrines are dedicated to the lake goddess and the goddess of Mount Petar and Mount Aganganan, the largest volcano in Bali. On the way to the island's twin lake, I like to remind everyone one last time.
Once again, keep your distance because earlier I was right here and one of the adult males with their babies about to leap at me. And I don't think anyone wants their eyeballs to be a part of their souvenir. Especially the moms, they're very protective, the parents. So keep your distance and enjoy them.
As much as I believe in supporting the local economy, I urge all of you to be a responsible traveler by not paying for taking photos with caged wild animals for the sake of entertainment. I consider it cruel and constitute abuse. But if you really want to support the local economy, it could be done everywhere like this.
I'm not too sure about the safety regulations or health code because it flies all over my deer, but I don't think I would get that sick. Yeah, hi, that's my dairy and I pay for it. I pay for this? Go! Let's have a shot. It's definitely fresher than the one that was imported back to Canada.
On our way to one of the waterfalls in North Bali, we stumbled upon these two lakes. The smaller lake is called Lake Buyan, and the other one is like Tamblingan, surrounded by lush greeneries. It's such a beautiful view. You will find these lakes if you're going to Munduk village from Denpasar.
The Lake Temple again and Lake Bayang are considered twin lakes as they are located side by side. The two pristine lakes are surrounded with dense rainforest and archaeological remnant of the 10th century civilization. The lake and the surrounding settlement and ancient temple are designated as spiritual tourism area, protected from the modern developments. After a 45 minutes ride, we arrive at the last but most stunning place in Bali, the Sekumpul Waterfall, but be extremely cautious of the sharp turns and slippery slopes. So, slow down.
As you can see in the back, Sekumpul Waterfall. It took me 2 hours to get here from Denpasar. This is truly one of the most beautiful waterfalls in Bali. You have to pay 15,000 entrance fee to get in. But if you speak Indonesian and you talk to the man at the ticket booth, you might be able to get in for free. So, learn some Indonesian.
The Sekumpul waterfall measures 80 meters high, therefore make sure you're reasonably fit for the 30 minutes track down. Don't forget to bring a pair of hiking shoes as along the way you may encounter slippery roads in case of rain and steep slopes while enjoying the beautiful view of rice terrace, burning hills and amazing waterfall from a distance. This is a large, spectacular double waterfall in a quiet and unspoiled forest, just 2 of the 7 hidden waterfalls situated in the Tranquility Valley of Singara. The other cannot be visited.
We made it.
Also, please bring a bathing suit or else you'll see what I mean. Haha.
I can almost guarantee you she's more civilized than I am. So, but I'm only going to be here once in a long time. So, I can't resist. So don't blame me, guys.
I guess we'll stop here before this show becomes X-rated. As mentioned before, Bali can be hot and humid, so make sure you stay hydrated. I let go of bottled water as tap water is not suitable for drinking. Local sodas and ice cream is also available for 50 cents to $1. But what Brent and I really need is a local lunch with some pork.
So this is rice with pork, and also this is pork soup as well. And to top up, I'm going to have a nice Hanakin along with it. Wait, sorry, Hanakin Tempura pack edition. Now I'm not too sure what it is. I don't know if it's made by real Heineken, but here it is. Let's give it a shot. Oh my god. It's orange juice. Well, probably some ginger. Wait. Okay. I'm going to try to finish this.
We're about to have our dinner. It's Nasi Goreng, one of the most popular Indonesian dishes. As you can see, it's in the making behind me.
But if you ask me what's the best inexpensive thing I ever eaten costing less than $1, hands down, their fried rice or Nasi Goreng.
The Nasi Goreng that we're going, it's basically a fried rice mixed with some chicken and egg, and well, some seasoning of course to make it delicious.
And if you want an authentic local experience, try eating it on wax paper. And for an extra dime, I top mine up with an egg. Finally, our last stop is our home base Kuta, where Bali's tourist industry began. As the traffic jam is a consistent hassle here, especially when it's raining, once again, we recommend you rent a scooter to get around. If you are taking a taxi, always insist on a meter over fixed rate. The Jalan Raya Legend is a main street filled with western-side shopping malls, pubs, restaurants, and market stalls. Here's another bargaining advice during souvenir hunting with the locals. Start negotiating at 50% of your asking price. We also like to caution our audience to be extremely mindful of their surroundings, including women always keep our eyes out on their drinks. Located in the heart of the city also stands a memorial for the victims of 2002 bombing, killing 202 people with 88 being Australians. Kuta is famous for the golden white coastline that curves, and no visit is complete without a visit to Kuta Beach, also known as Sunset Beach. Would I come here for some surfing experience for myself? I newbie. It's one of Bali's first tourist development and best known for its Indian Ocean surfing and party-centric atmosphere.
I'm here at Kuta Beach, the most popular beach in Bali. Now, to rent one of these, a surfing board, is really easy. There's so many rental stalls here that is very competitive. So, always negotiate, please. Now, another strategy is to walk down, pretend you're not that interested, and then make you an offer to rent a board. That way you get more negotiation power. But before I jump in, I think I need to get a few hints from my great friend who's going to teach me in and out of surfing.
Kuta is one of the best places if you want to try to surf. But before you get into the water, make sure you wear the proper surfing attire, rash guard and board shorts. Even if you don't have any of those, just wear normal clothing. It's better than ghost surfing without wearing anything, because you know the friction might hurt your skin.
Well, my first surfing experience is a lot challenging than I thought, filled with lots of falls and setbacks. But I'm determined and keep going back over and over and over again. Until I almost succeeded.
I might not have succeeded today, but I will be back and I will try again until I master it.
I ended my Bali journey with some souvenir hunting in the mall tailored for the locals. Here you definitely get the best price without bargaining.
Now before you pick up a souvenir for anyone, you got to come here. This mall has the largest selection of souvenirs at super low prices, and the price is fixed, so no bargaining required. So before I buy everyone else a souvenir, I'm getting a nice treat for myself. This is beautiful traditional scarf. So, and I make sure that is going to be the most expensive souvenir I will be taking home. And I hope I look cute in this.
I'm Bramantia, and you are welcome to join us in our adventure across this beautiful island.
Sadly, it's time to say goodbye to my friend and my co-host Bram and heading back to the airport the same way on his motorcycle. If you're taking Uber or taxi, make sure to leave at least 3 hours before your flight, as traffic jam is a persistent problem in Kuta. Given my time constraint for filming, I had to fly for approximately $30 on one of the budget airlines. By the way, don't worry about smoke coming out from the cabin. It's just air conditioning. The most inexpensive way to reach East Java from Bali is by bus with a ferry connection to see Ijen crater and Mount Bromo. However, given most travelers' point of entry is Surabaya, we'll start from there as well. The train is the most reliable way to get to Ijen crater, so our first stop is getting to Surabaya bus station Bangkarashi. Ignore all the taxi drivers who try to hustle you. Just exit the departure terminal to find the public bus going to the station.
Now, either you can buy the tickets inside the airport terminal, or what I recommend is just hop onto the bus and to pay the driver directly. The reason for that is, what happens if you buy the ticket and there's no seat on the bus? Because you can see all here, like, it's pretty packed. If you already got the ticket inside there, just give it to him and he will issue one of those receipts to you. Luckily, I got lots of fans around me because everyone's watching me as I record this. Anyways, I'm over here at the bus station, the central bus station here in Surabaya. The next thing we need to do is transfer on to the Uber train station bus. So, wish me luck. I'm inside a non-air conditioned car and I'm sweating like crazy. The reason is the fact that the air conditioned car leaves less frequently. So I'm basically travel the way that locals travel.
But be patient, very, very patient. Oh yeah, don't be surprised something like this happens. Just treat it as part of a journey.
Alright, so let me tell you what happened. The public bus actually didn't drop me off here at the train station. They dropped me off about 5 kilometers away. And at a square where I had to transfer onto a shared taxi or a public, like a small minibus. So what happened was, there's so many motorbikes around. We negotiated to bring me here. From there, actually, motorbike is really fast, about 5 minutes or so. Now, it was very lucky that the public bus didn't stop here. The reason is, the traffic got so bad. I mean, it would take forever. And the train's about to leave. So once I got here, got in, bought the ticket, and I'm ready to go.
By the way, don't worry about the long lineup. Typically, there is dedicated booth for foreigners or VIPs.
It's pretty interesting. It's gonna be very...
And the ride takes approximately 6 hours. Although the same train will pass by Mount Bromo first, by the time you arrive, it will be dark. Therefore, the smart way is to visit Ijen crater first, given the long train ride will allow you to rest properly for the midnight climb.
Now, as more station approaches, more and more people are getting off, and so now I got a lot more room to work with. And I turned this into a mini office sort of, so check this out. I mean, this is 4.5 hours into my train ride, but there's still a lot of people, as you can see over here. And I will need all the fuel, all the rest I can, because it's going to be really exhausting tonight to climb the Ijen. We are doing it in the midnight to see the blue flame. So
you should arrive at the Karagansen station just before 9 p.m. if you are taking the afternoon train. Once arrived at the station, most hostel operators will be waiting to pick you up if you made a reservation with them. I'd like to thank Ghana, the owner of Kampung Housing Inn, an off-beaten-path family-run budget hostel. They have generously offered their assistance in planning, providing logistics, transportation, and accommodation for the filming of this episode segment.
now, just want to let you know, the last time I had a proper meal is 24 hours ago. And after that, I went to bed, took a flight, took a really long train ride to get here, and so this is my first proper meal. So let me tell you what I chosen. Very traditional Indonesian food is actually rice, lots of that, also the tofu and chicken, and also some veggies. So with that being said, I have to eat really quick, head back because my team and I are hiking up. Long night ahead, so time to fuel up. See you guys.
Shortly after midnight, we started our journey on a motorcycle. Like me, you can arrange a ride through your hostel. Our first stop is a convenience store to pick up some water. You'll need it. Other things you definitely need is a flashlight or headlamp. And of course, a sense of adventure. Once arrived at the base, I strongly recommend you hire a knowledgeable local guide here. It's only approximately $15 and they will assist you climbing Kawah safely as it can be dark and many road on a mark and slippery. I really mean it.
They provide some water, snacks, and everything you need for the hike.
And please do support the local people. It's amazing how these small businesses can operate under constant smell and the danger associated with the toxic sulfuric gas. Luckily, your guide should have a gas mask for you, or you can rent one on the site. Also, it's a good time to go to the toilet before beginning your hike. Lastly, there is a admissions fee, unless someone's sleeping on the job. However, if you insist in coming alone, then make some friends so you won't get lost and able to help each other in event of emergency. The hike definitely requires you to be fit. It's approximately an hour and a half, the first hour being the most steepest and the last 30 minutes being the easiest as it is mostly flat.
When they take the basket of the sulfur,
They get paid here.
they get the ticket close to the parking area. They will change the
Ticket
paper,
for money.
for the money.
The Kawah Ijen crater is still a working mine and a dangerous one. The miners spending up to 12 hours at a time surrounded with grasping smoke, just yards from a lake filled with acid. Despite carrying a bucket of hardened yellow sulfur weighing 70 to 90 kilograms up the steepy rocky path from the crater floor, up to 10 times a shift, they often take home less than $10 a day. Such physically demanding and hazardous work means miners' life expectancy barely reaches 50 years. More than 70 people have died in work-related accidents in collagen in the last 4 decades, many due to toxic fumes that bounce suddenly from the rock's fixtures.
Wow.
On the midway, there's a rest stop where you can grab snacks and drinks. It's overpriced, but remember, it's not easy setting up shop here, and you are supporting the local people who relies on tourists to make a living. This is also a good point to start wearing your gas mask, given the thick smell and high level of sulfur are beginning to fill the air. And please, do not litter. Finally, we reach the mouth of Kawah Ijen, but we still need to head down to the center of the crater. However, this is not always possible given the nature is unpredictable. If there is an excessive sulfur cloud, it will be too dangerous to go down on that day. After 45 minutes of downhill, we finally reaches the crater's caldera. But given the weather condition, we didn't get to see the blue flames. But it's still pretty amazing to see the flames and the smoke rising from the earth. We stay for a bit for the daylight to come in order to get a better view of the center of the crater.
This crater, I could say it could be the most acid lake in the world.
So not a good idea for you guys to go for a swim.
It's really bad idea.
What gives this green color?
It's getting from the sulfur because these volcanoes is really active volcanoes. It's really dangerous if you do it on your own, but it's still possible.
How much do you think the actual guy will cost here? It's not that expensive.
It's not really expensive. Mostly they charge for about 150,000 or 200,000, but they give you a proper gas mask.
Proper gas
Yeah.
mask. Thanks for giving that to me.
Yeah, that's for your safety because sometimes the sulfur here, the smoke here, really terrible. They are originally here, so they always work here every day, so they know the path.
They know the path, they know the safety. So do yourself a favor, make your life easier. Hire a guide. They know the thing too, and you're also supporting them and their family and the local economy.
That's
here.
the main idea.
Well, thanks for bringing me here.
You're welcome.
After an hour, it was time for us to hike back up the crater for the final photo. Coming down the mountain can be challenging, so take lots of breaks if necessary and enjoy the morning view of the magnificent surroundings. After rushing back to Kampenhausen Inn, like all other climbers, I smell like sulfur. But there's no time for a shower. I had to get a ride back to Karakansan station for my train ride to Propalingo.
I just woke up and they were serving lunch, and I thought it would be interesting to see what kind of overpriced train food available here. It's basically chicken with some a little bit of fresh veggies and some what's called spicy sauce.
Propalingo is the closest city near Mount Bromo and has a population of 225,000. Like most northern East Java, the city has a large Madurese population in addition to many ethnically Javanese people. Right across from Propalingo train station, there's a large park with lots of trees and shaded areas. To save money, I prefer to take a public bus or share a taxi with a group of backpackers to a bus station in Propalingo. You can take the mini public bus called Bemo to the Propalingo bus station for about 35 cents. These are painted yellow and look like one of these. There will be people who try to sell you tours. Just smile and say no. Some scam buses will try to drop you off in the middle of the town near a travel agency. The bus driver will get a commission on any tour you buy. Sadly, for the first time ever while traveling, I fell for this scam. The worst part is after being dropped off at the travel agency is there is not enough tourists to occupy all 15 seats inside the private tour bus. The passengers were all taken hostage by the weather and we all end up paying 3 times the fare in order for the bus to leave. We were finally dropped off at a very small hamlet northeast of Mount Bromo called Saimoro Lauing. The town is principally a base for early morning climbs on Mount Bromo. Therefore, there's really nothing to do except for rest.
Absolutely deserted.
Many travel shows are staged, but ours is not. Unfortunately, much to my disappointment, I was not able to climb Mount Bromo due to volcanic eruption. The authorities extended a 1-kilometer exclusion zone.
I was thinking about heading up to Bromo, and as you can see, the weather doesn't cooperate. So what happened, we went into a viewpoint to see how it is, and I wish I got better shots for you guys, but as you can see, I barely want to step up because it rained so bad and so foggy. So I guess we have to do that next time.
But my issue is not over yet. The volcanic eruption means few tourists. So right now, this bus is supposed to leave at 9:30. And it's already 9:30, and what happened was they are still waiting for more people. If no one comes, the bus is not leaving. And we are trapped inside here because the driver is gone, but the door is locked. And my partner actually had to jump out of this bus through the windows to get out because there's another bus nearby, and we just can't do that without being uncivilized. Hello? Anyone here? Once we are free, I desperately look for help. What I'm doing right now is just going to knock on a few doors to see if there's any car that are willing to take us to Propalingo. Honestly, I hate to be late, and I really want to check into Surabaya because I just don't want to stay here. Honestly, I don't want to stay in the middle of nowhere. So apparently just none of the buses going to Propalingo, and this is just drives me insane right now, absolutely insane. And I guess we probably could miss our train, have to buy another train ticket. I think one of my last resource is to see if I can hitchhike. This is what happened right now is we negotiate with the driver. Initially he asked for 400,000, so I offered him 300,000 just get us to the station. After all that mishap, I'm really glad to arrive at Propalingo public bus station and transfer onto yellow public minivan. And we are heading off to the train station right now, and let's hope we can make it in one piece and we won't have anything happening. Now this time around, we learn our lesson. We will pay the driver after we get there. Oh yeah, we did end up missing our initial train as they are extremely punctual. If you don't know if you're going to make it on time, don't buy the ticket as they are not going to give you a refund or exchange for the next train.
And here we go, we made it here. The mistake we made yesterday is that girl that's in my group accepted a ride too eagerly, too quickly from a bus that we did not know if it's a private or a public or one of those scam buses that take us to a travel agency rather than a bus station. And number two is the fact that we did not check out right across the street the Tourist Information Center. Now this is actually an official government-run Tourist Information Center. It's Saturday today, so it's not open. And by good luck, we have an example of how yellow buses look like. So I hope you learn from my mistake and not make the same mistake we made. With that being said, I think it's time to go back in and catch my train to Surabaya.
If you want to take the public Bemo to Surabaya city center, then do not exit the economy side of the station, but go to the opposite direction on the east by crossing the train tracks. This will lead you to a business train side where you can exit to Gubba Majid Street and cross the street for T2 minivan. The cost is 5,000 rupiahs or 35 cents. Located on the northeastern Java island and along the edge of Madura Strait, Surabaya is the second largest city in Indonesia with a population of 3 million and 9 million in metropolitan area. The city is highly urbanized with many centralized industries, but is also home to many slum areas. As a main education center, Surabaya is a home to many students from Indonesia. I recommend you stay in the city center, in the business district of Darmo and Nepi Negro, as it is walking distance away from many of the attractions, local markets and shopping centers, along with bus stations, cheap eateries and convenience stores. This is why I will be staying in the location of Crowley Inn, my generous host who offered me accommodation for the night. Before heading off to see the sight and the sound of this vibrant city, I'd like to show you one of the chain stores that I visit often.
So right now I'm in Surabaya and I happen to come across a store that I shop really often all across Indonesia. It's a chain store called IndoSmart. And sometimes I just don't have a choice when I don't trust the local business given the amount of expired food that's being sold or charging me foreigner prices and a different price for locals. If you don't feel comfortable buying from the local store, this is probably a best option because you get the best prices, and I honestly think that is the case.
Our first stop is the off-beaten path visit to the narrow alleyway of city center en route to the Surabaya Zoo. The 10 minutes walk through the lane is a good opportunity to see the real ordinary life of the local population. The Surabaya Zoo consists of an area of 15 hectares established by the decree of Governor General of Netherlands East Indies on August 31, 1916. Today there are 3,500 animals with 200 species in captivity, including 16 endangered Bali sterlings only found in western part of Bali Island, and 70 Komodo dragons. If you are thinking of jaywalking, think again.
Now, one of the things here in Surabaya is I cannot find a pedestrian walkway, and the traffic here, as you can see, is really busy. But one thing I will not risk, and I encourage all of you not to risk, is your life and being hit by one of these cars. With that being said, there is a path that goes on top and go across. Perhaps that will take us to the other side.
Right across the street is a small park with a memorial honoring those who fought during the Indonesian National Revolution. The city is known as Kota Pahlawan or City of Heroes due to the importance of Battle of Surabaya in galvanizing Indonesian and international support for the country's independence. During the filming of this episode, I have showcased many Indonesian street food, so I encourage everyone to support the local economy by eating at them. Some even come with a complimentary in-house music at no extra charge. But I really miss the taste of America, so I decided to change it up a bit at the local KFC. It's not exactly what I expected.
And here in Indonesia, we have spaghettis and soups. Their combo doesn't come with fries, it actually comes with rice.
My last stop is a department store next door to stock up on some snack for my early morning flight out tomorrow. So here's a sneak peek inside and how the local population shop for Christmas. The best way to get back to the airport is using the shuttle operated by Damaris, the same company operated in Bali and Jakarta airport at the cost of 20,000 rupiahs or $1.75. However, my flight is early and taxi is the best option. I recommend Bluebird Group Taxi. They use meter and cost approximately 90,000 or $7 from the city center. And this is how I end my magnificent Indonesian journey for the island of Bali and East Java. Bali and East Java is truly a land of adventure. It's impossible to appreciate the breathtaking and unspoiled nature without experiencing it firsthand. The peaceful coexistence and acceptance of Indonesia's large distinctive cultures and religions should serve as a model in a world of civil conflict. Despite having little, I witnessed the hard working and the resilience of its people by how they transformed a rice field to an urban city, along with their desire to protect and yet showcase its treasures with all of us. Bali and East Java is truly a magnificent destination waiting for you to experience and to discover. Thank you for watching and Salam Adingao.